Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about the restoration of rights for convicted felons. Okay, now it's my opinion that if you commit a crime, you serve your time, you pay your debt back, you should have all your rights restored, including your gun rights. Okay, and there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, it's my thought that if you're too dangerous to own a gun, you're too dangerous to be on the street. Okay, so if you have a person that has has basically committed the same crime, let's say armed robbery, over and over again, you shouldn't be letting him out. Okay, so trying to deny that person a gun is the wrong solution. The wrong solution is keep him behind bars if that's the case. Okay, so there are my thoughts on that aspect. Now the other thing I want to make you guys aware of is as far as a convicted felon, anything can be labeled a felony, okay? And anybody can be labeled insane for that matter, because Hitler, he labeled all his political enemies insane. Stalin, he labeled his political enemies criminals, okay? So any group of people you want to deny rights to, you can come up with laws to label them criminal or insane, or both, okay? And an example of that would be New York City, okay? In New York City, the mere possession of a gun will get you a felony. Okay, so here you are, right? You're traveling around the country. You're exercising your natural right and your constitutional right to carry a gun, and you get caught with that in New York City, and all of a sudden you're going to get convicted with a felony, and now you lose your gun rights. Okay, so there is a clear case, that laws can be abused. Okay. Now, another thing I want you guys to be aware of is that, a lot of these felons, okay, let's consider a situation where we actually had a tyranny or dictatorships, okay, at some point in the future, right? And the only reason why I say some point in the future is because I want to take it out of the present context, and I want to keep it in the theoretical context, okay? So, some point in the future, we have a dictator, we have a tyrant. Okay, and who is going to fight that war against that dictator, that tyrant? Is it going to be you? Okay, are you going to leave your wife and kids and your house behind, all right, and your assets and your job and all that stuff to go fight that war? Are you the person that's going to do it? Okay, from my experience, right, studying history. I find that the people that fight revolutions are the people that have nothing to lose, okay? And that, a lot of those people have a criminal background. And the example that I like to use is John Paul Jones, okay, the father of the American Navy, okay, who was famous for his quote, "I have only begun to fight." Okay, so, if you guys are interested in that, you can look it up. So John Paul Jones was basically I don't know if he was convicted, but basically he was wanted for murder by the British. Okay, and I don't think there's any dispute as to whether or not he did that murder. I believe that it was a self-defense case, but in any case, the British said that guilty. Okay, and they basically he was on the run, and he went on to become a great American hero. So I think that's a clear case of a person with nothing to lose, who basically, at the right time and right place, circumstances present themselves to him, and basically he rises to the occasion, and he becomes a great American hero, and he helped make this a free country. Okay, so that's something for you guys to keep in mind as far as people who have been convicted of felonies. Okay. And I realize that a lot of us, we buy guns because we're like, okay, well, we got all these criminals out there. We're worried about these home invasions. We're worried about robberies, and we're buying guns to, and training to protect ourselves from them. And yes, we should be doing all those things too. But keep in mind that for a lot of those people, they are looking to turn their lives around. Okay. Now, one of the problems with our system is that once you get convicted of a felony, okay, it's very hard to move beyond that because most companies, almost all companies today, they do background checks. Okay, so it's very hard for somebody that comes out of prison with a felony conviction to go and get a job. And companies, they kind of have to do the background checks because it's available to them. And if they don't do the background check and something happens, then everybody's gonna say, well, why did that company do a background check? Okay? So my solution to that is that once you serve your time, a person's record should be sealed. Okay, they should be allowed to move on. They should have all their rights restored. They should be able to move on and become a and basically to move on and to what's the word I'm looking for, to become a successful person. Okay, so I think they should be given that opportunity. And once you start, once you label them a felon and you start taking rights away, and they have to go through a background check every time that they every time they go to get a job. I think that kind of creates the revolving door situation, and I think that it's done on purpose, right? Because let's face it. Just to give you guys a quick example, most crimes today are in some way drug related. Okay, and if you think about it, if we were to legalize all drugs, what would happen? Basically, crime would probably drop by a very large percentage, right? Especially all these people that are selling drugs. First of all, they wouldn't be selling drugs because there wouldn't be that much profit in selling something that's perfectly legal, especially when you have regular stores selling that profit. So once you take the huge profit out of it, basically crime would drop. And if crime drops, then all of a sudden you don't need all these cops. So now basically a lot of these cops lose their jobs and they go back to doing honest work. Okay, if you get the point there, not only that, but now the lawyers are also losing their jobs. So I think for that reason they want, I think they want that revolving door. They want the convicts coming out, not being able to get good jobs, not being able to succeed, going back to committing crimes, and then running through the whole system again, creating, generating money for the cops, for the lawyers, for the judges. Okay, and I think that needs to stop. Okay, I think that revolving door needs to stop. We need to stop criminalizing things that don't need to be criminalized. Okay, but anyway, some things for you guys to think about. I'll talk to you guys next time.